Hi everyone, today I'll be exploring teamwork and leadership through the lens of rhetorical concepts. We'll look at how different authors and speakers like Simon Sinek, Jidit Frederiksen, Michael Lesky and Small, and Hill, Teddars, Weil, and Weber use ethos, pathos, and logos to define and shape what leadership and teamwork really mean. My goal isn't to give the one right answer, but to share insights and show how intentional authors are in crafting their messages about leadership. When we think of leadership, we usually picture action, but rhetoric is just as important. The way leaders speak, write, and frame ideas influences how others see them. Rhetoric doesn't just describe leadership, it can create it. For example, leaders use ethos to build trust, or as we can see, it's for credibility. And pathos, for example, it's to inspire. And we are talking about emotions here. And logos to give logical direction, the logic. Without rhetoric, leadership often loses its power to connect with people. Okay, now let's talk about ethos in leadership. Ethos is all about credibility and trust. Simon Sinek, in his TED Talk, highlights how good leaders make us feel safe. His credibility comes not just from facts, but from his reputation as a leadership thinker. Michael Lesky and Small also emphasize values-based leadership, which builds ethos by showing leaders who act consistently with their principles. Both agree that leaders must earn trust before they can inspire teamwork. Okay, now let's talk about pathos in leadership. Pathos is emotional appeal, and this shows up strongly in leadership. Sinek appeals to our need for safety and belonging, while Frederiksen's TED Talk shows how leaders can inspire by making people feel connected in networks, not just hierarchies. The emotional thread here is clear. People follow leaders who make them feel seen, valued, and protected. Without that emotional connection, teamwork often falls apart. Okay, now let's talk about logos in leadership. Logos is logical reasoning. The Harvard Business Review article highlights research and structured strategies for what makes a great leader. They lean on data and case studies to logically prove their points. Michalowski and Small also use logos by analyzing leadership through organizational values. These logical appeals balance the emotion and credibility, showing that effective leadership isn't just inspirational, it's also practical and evidence-based. Okay, now let's look at how teamwork and leadership show up in the texts themselves. Simon Sinek demonstrates leadership by focusing on making teams feel safe. Frederiksen emphasizes leadership as a network, showing how teams collaborate rather than follow a strict hierarchy. Harvard Business Review and Michalowski and Small provide research and frameworks showing leadership in structured strategies or values-based approaches. Each text shows teamwork and leadership in real world or conceptual action, helping readers see these ideas in practice. Authors and speakers connect their audiences to teamwork and leadership in different ways. For example, Sinek uses simple, relatable stories that anyone can understand, making leadership feel more personal. Frederiksen uses energy and visuals to engage viewers, showing leadership as something collaborative and approachable. Harvard Business Review and Michalowski and Small use a more formal, research-based style to reach professional audiences, showing, of course, credibility and authority. The audience shapes how the message is delivered and how teamwork and leadership are perceived. Why did these authors create their messages about teamwork and leadership? Sinek wants to inspire trust and belonging, showing leaders how to care for their teams. Frederiksen challenges traditional hierarchies, encouraging shared leadership in networks. Harvard Business Review and Michalowski and Small aim to guide professionals with practical strategies and ethical framework. In each case, the rhetoric is intentional. The authors craft their words and delivery to influence how we understand and practice leadership. Characters reflecting leadership. Some texts use characters or examples to reflect teamwork and leadership. In Sinek, leaders are portrayed as protectors, prioritizing team safety. Frederiksen shows leaders as connectors in a network, enabling collaboration. Harvard Business Reviews highlights leaders as problem solvers, using skills and strategy. Michalowski and Small describe leaders as ethical role models, acting consistently with organizational values. These characters help readers understand how leadership looks in action, not just in theory. Finally, what are the authors trying to convey about teamwork and leadership? Across all texts, leadership is portrayed as useful and necessary. It builds trust, fosters connection, and enables collaboration. Effective leadership combines ethics, strategy, and emotions, showing that it's both practical and relational. Rhetoric is the tool that shapes how we see and practice leadership. Through ethos, pathos, and logos, the authors guide us to understand and apply these concepts in real life. And that's all. Thank you for watching.